Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. It is me, Desiree, and we are here today with a little get ready with me, chat about life type of video. I don't normally talk about these kinds of things in my videos because I feel I like to keep it pretty lighthearted here, but I'm about to turn 35 years old and I have some thoughts about it. So I thought I would just put on my makeup for the day and talk to you about how I'm feeling about being 35. How do I feel? All this kind of stuff. Am I on track where I should be? Blah, blah, blah. So if that sounds good to you, that's what this video is going to be about. So I will list all the products I'm using in this video down below in the description box because I might not be holding them all up and talking about them. But I am going to be using some of my products I'm trying to pan. This is the Fenty Beauty Kilowatt Freestyle blah, blah, blah. I don't know. It's a primer. Anyway, so I'm going to be 35 here on the 23rd of August. And I didn't think much of it until recently. Because to me, age truly is a number. To me, age is kind of like just another descriptive part of someone's being. Like, you have black hair, I have black hair. You know what I mean? Like, it's a descriptive thing. So I don't put a lot of emphasis on age and a number and where I should be at in my life because of my age. But I was thinking the other day about how I feel and look at 35. Like, do I look 35? Yes. Do I feel 35? Of course I do. Because I'm me at 35. I've been alive for 35 years, and this is how I feel. And this is how I look for being 35 years old. So of course I look and feel 35 because it's me at 35. Does that make sense? Everyone feels different at every single age in their life. There isn't a way you're supposed to feel at every age in your life. Does that make sense? Because I have been hearing my entire life pretty much, and I actually had to tell my boyfriend the other day that I was on my own timeline because his birthday recently passed as well, and he turned 33, and I asked him how he felt at 33, and he said, well, people my age usually have a house by now and kids and whatever. And I was like, that's great for them. I said, but they bought the house and had the kids because they were ready, not because they reached an age and they were like, okay, deadline, I have to do it, it's now or never. So, and when he said that, people my age, I heard it, and it could have also just been people with black hair are buying houses. I have black hair, I should buy a house. That's kind of how I think of it. As like, it's just something to do. It's not like something you have to do because a birthday passed. You know what I mean? Can you afford to buy a house? Then don't buy a house. Don't buy it because you think that it's something you're supposed to do. Do you want to have kids? Then don't have kids. Don't do it because society at large is telling you to have a kid. But I've heard that a lot throughout my life because I am on my own timeline, which we all should be. But my timeline I don't know, it seems to be off course of what a lot of other people's life is at. But it's weird because it's not a lot of people in my life. It's people who I hear about, people I see, people I've heard about growing up and stuff. So I'm 35. I live in an apartment. I've lived in an apartment my whole time I've lived outside of my parents' house. I love living in apartments, and I do want to buy a house, but I love moving so much. I love moving. I love it. I move every couple of years, every 2 to 3 years. I move to a different place, because I just like to. My lease is up, and I'm like, all right, let's get out of here. I want a different arrangement of rooms, and I want stuff like that. I want it different, and I like moving. And as much as I would love to have a house, I don't want all the extra bills that come along with having a house. I don't want to pay much more. People tell me all the time, you're paying this much for your apartment. That's pretty much a house payment. I hear that all the time, and I think the same thing. But it's not just a house payment. You got to pay other taxes along with the house payment. You pay a big old giant water bill. In an apartment, you don't pay a water bill. You pay a water bill. Light and gas is a lot more because you're heating and lighting bigger areas. And there's just other repairs and appliances and stuff that I don't want to pay for. That's it. I don't want to pay for those things. And I like living in an apartment. But at the same time, I would love a house. It's just, I feel like I would get tired of it. And you know, yes, I know you can renovate and remodel, but it's not that easy and it's not cheap. You know, it's not like if it was that easy, everybody would remodel their house all the time. But anyway, where was I going with this story? Being 35, feeling like I'm on track for my life. And do I feel like I'm on track for my life? Yes, because this is where I'm at in my life. So of course I'm on track for my life. Because I'm me at my age in this point. So yes, I'm on track. Do I have a timeline on things I want to do by a certain age? No. I've never done that, you know. And I have heard it my whole life, and I've seen it, and I've seen people do things. And going back to my boyfriend saying that he didn't feel, or people my age are normally buying houses and having kids, he had said something about it the other day in the car. I can't remember what he said, but I had to tell him, I was like, hey, I'm on my own timeline. You know, if I don't want to have a kid till I'm 45, guess what? We're going to have kids at 45. And that's just the way it's going to be. And everybody's on their own timeline. And I've heard my whole life that this is what you do at certain ages. You know, at 21, guess what you're supposed to do? You're supposed to go get absolutely annihilated at a bar with strangers and just hate your life the next day because you're so hungover. Or maybe not, because at that age, hangovers are nothing, right? What did I do for my 21st birthday? I can't even remember, actually. And then at 30, you're supposed to do this. At 25, you're supposed to do this. You should be having kids. You should be getting married. And I remember going to church, because we used to go to church a lot when I was younger. And these people had gotten married, and they very quickly after getting married announced they were having a baby. And I remember saying out loud, oh my God. I didn't say, oh my God. I said, already, or something like that. And my mom said, well, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to get married and have kids. And I was like, really? Because I don't think that's what I want to do. I have no interest in getting married. And I told my boyfriend this, and I said it kind of as a joke, but I actually mean it. We kind of joke about it, but it's the truth, that I'm not getting married for 10 years. I'm like, I need to know you for 10 years till we get married. And it was funny the way that it came up. I know this video is all over the place. I hope you don't mind it. It was funny the way it came up because it was on, we were watching, what was it? Family Feud, and the question was like, how long should a woman wait till she gives her man an ultimatum for marriage? And I said 10 years, and he looked at me and he was like, what? And we joke about it all the time, and he's like, well, maybe in 10 years, you know, when we get married. And you know, even if we never get married, I'm not gonna even, that's totally fine. I'm fine with it. Being married and thinking about my wedding isn't even a thought in my head. It's never something I've dreamt about as a kid, of being like, on my wedding day, I can't wait to spend $65,000 and start a marriage in debt. I can't wait to do that. I've never had that thought. But anyway, I've never wanted to get married. And at 35 years old, should I be married according to society? Probably. I should probably already have kids in school, you know. But I don't feel it. I don't want to do it. It's not me. It's not for me. It's not the life I want to live. What step am I on next? Bronzer? Let's do a little cream bronzer. What else did I want to mention in this video? Feeling and looking 35. Yeah, I look 35. I feel 35 because that's me at 35. Everyone looks and feels different at every single age. And I think that I've even thought it when I was younger, before I became the age that I am, that I always thought that telling someone they looked good for their age was a compliment, but it's not a compliment to tell someone they look good for their age. If you rephrased it to say, you look good for how old you are, like, do you think that sounds like a compliment? It's not. So it's kind of on par of telling someone or asking someone if they're pregnant when they're not. You know, if you want to tell someone they look good, just say, dang, you look nice today. Your makeup looks so great. I love your outfit. You're so youthful, whatever. Just leave off the for your age part or how old you are. I rephrased it like that in my head just now, and I was like, that sounds awful. You look good for how old you are. I don't know. I'm having a lot of thoughts about turning 35. A lot of thoughts about society and where I should be in my life. And my boyfriend and I was having that talk the other day about where he thinks he should be in his life. And you know, why do we put so much emphasis on the number? And I don't get it. Like, I don't know. I've never put that emphasis on myself and wanting to do things by a certain age and feeling behind. And I guess it's normal, though, to look at other people and feel like, wait, is that where I'm supposed to be? Should I be climbing the corporate ladder? I don't know anyone in my life who's climbing a corporate ladder. You know what I mean? Literally nobody. We're all working retail. We're working in stores. We're doing call centers. We're working normal jobs. And I remember, and I think it honestly comes from reading magazines my whole life. I love magazines. I will never talk ill of a magazine. I love them. I save them. They're my thing. But I remember reading magazines all the time, and, you know, no one in any of these magazines, any women they ever talked about worked at Walgreens, worked at Walmart, worked at the gas station. They were all like high-powered women with demanding jobs that checked emails all day. And I don't know anyone like that in my life. But I always felt that that's something to strive for, you know. And if you want to do those kind of things, of course, strive for it. Do you reach your goals, all that kind of stuff. But it's never been me. And at 35, it's even less me. Like, there's too much emphasis on the number of your life. Like, I don't know. But I know when I was younger and I thought, even my parents, you know, are probably just in their 20s when I was like, oh my God, they're so old. But when I reached those ages at which they had us kids, I was like, dang. And my grandma tells me this all the time if she's watching this video. At your age, I already had this many kids and stuff like that. And I know she's just saying it just to say it. It doesn't really like put me in a bad way where I'm like, oh my God, I should already have 6 kids. I'm way behind in my life. But it's just funny to think about how each of our lives have taken different paths and we all do different things on our own timeline. And I would never tell somebody that they're behind or how come you don't have a house yet? When are you going to have kids? And people have asked throughout my life with different people I've dated, whatever, when are you going to get married? Like, why do you need to know that? Why is that so important to you? Do you want to start planning it for me or are you going to pay for it? Because I'll get married tomorrow if you're going to pay for it. But anyway, I'm just kidding. I won't. But I always wonder, and I know it's just people being human and they're interested in when are you going to get married? Are you going to have kids soon? Blah, blah, blah. I want to buy you a present. But to pressure somebody to do something because you think it's the right choice, maybe that's the right choice for you, you know. Maybe that's the right choice that you made at that age to get married or have children or buy a house. And I know I'm only focusing on those 3 things, but those are like the 3 major milestones that people always ask about. Always. When are you getting married? When are you having kids? And I think now people have just realized that I'm not going to do either of those things. If I have children, I've always said it's going to be an accident. Kids are not in my mind. They're not something I plan on doing. But I always hear from other people too, like kids, it's never something you want, but once you get it, you can't imagine life without it. You wouldn't regret it. I just feel like I would be that parent that has postpartum depression forever, and I hate my life, and I hate my decisions, and I make my boyfriend raise our babies, and I don't know, I just feel like that's what I would be. And I know that I would hate being pregnant. I hate when I feel bloated for any reason. If I ate too many potato chips last night and I woke up looking like a potato, I hate my life. And I know that if I got pregnant, I wouldn't be that woman that's like taking pictures of herself and posing with a bare belly and being all proud of it. I don't know. That's just not me. I think that pregnancy is so beautiful. And if you feel beautiful in your body and you're like, dang, look what my body did. It created human life. That's amazing. That is absolutely a miracle. I just don't know if I would feel like a miracle looking pregnant. I don't know. I got my own stuff going on in my head, and I don't know, man. It's just scary. And it's also not something I want. But the pressure to do it is real, I'm telling you. And I don't know. You guys following along with me? This is just chatting away about whatever I'm feeling, and it is what it is. I'm 35, people. Okay, let's fill in these eyebrows. Where are you guys at in your life? Do you feel your life is where it should be at an age? Because you shouldn't please don't put so much emphasis on that number. You know, is this where my life should be at 34? I mean, at 35? Yes, it is where my life should be at 35 because it's where my life is at 35. It's where I'm at 35. If my next door neighbor has 2 kids, 2 dogs, picket fence, great husband, they go on walks every day and they're in shape at 35, that's their life at 35. You know, make your life what it is at that moment, not based on the number. Don't put an emphasis on the number. I think of it, like I said earlier in this video, as just another descriptive factor about you. This is my life with someone who has green eyes. You know, this is my life with someone who has to fill in their eyebrows every day. This is my life at 35. You know, it's just another descriptive factor of you. It's not a thing that you should plan your life around. Unless you are that type of person that thrives on goals and you're like, dang, at this age, by the time I hit 30, I'm paying off my car payment. That's a great goal to have, you know. Pay off your car, pay off your whatever, your credit card debt, stuff like that. Those are good goals to have, but I wish people wouldn't put so much emphasis on the number and what you should be doing at certain ages and things like that, because I don't know, like that to me doesn't seem like a life that you truly chose yourself. And I have made a lot of decisions in my life based on what other people's input has been, and I've never liked any of them. I have so many regrets in my life of when I was younger, things I've done and things I've not done based on what other people thought I should do or told me it was right, or this is what you're supposed to do. And the word should right now is probably the worst word in the English language. You know what you should do? You know what you're supposed to be doing? You know what I should have done? Like, no, I did what I wanted to do. Anyway, I did make a lot of decisions like that, and I made big life choices based on what other people's opinions were. And because you know, you always assume people know best and they want what's best for you. But when you look back, it's like, wait, it's not what I wanted to do, it's what they thought was best. And that's okay to think what's best and want what's best for people, but you shouldn't expect them to live a life the way you want them to live it. Because what kind of life is that? Anyway, I'm just going on and on and on in this video. I'm 35. You let me rant and rave. I'm 35. I'm going to put on a little eyeshadow. I have this Kat Von D eyeshadow here that I bought that I love. It's called Cream Foil Longwear Eyeshadow in the shade Crystal Rose. But I'm going to do a little bit of a little creasy. I didn't put on any primer. That's fine. I don't want to put on primer today. I'm in a ranting, raving mood. I'm not putting on primer. Anyway, where was I? Let me know how you're feeling at your age. Do you feel where you're supposed to be? Do you hold that kind of like thing over a cloud over your head of like, oh, I'm 40. I should have already done this and that. I'm running out of time. You know what, I guess as a woman, yes, there are certain things. You could only have a baby for a certain amount of time. And yeah, that's something to think about if that's the way you would like to have a child. But other than that, I think there's a lot of things you can do in your life at any time. I always think about Julia Child and Martha Stewart. I think about them all the time. I know it's totally weird, but I love Martha Stewart. I adore this woman. But she started her company and got it rolling later, not later in her life. She wasn't like that late in her life, but I think it was like in her 40s or something like that. Or was this Julia Child? I'm getting them confused. Either way, they didn't become moguls and what they did with their lives and how successful they became. They didn't do that as they were a teenager on making videos on TikTok. You know what I mean? Like they did it later on in their life. They weren't following anybody's timeline, and I admire them so much for doing what they did. And I think Julia Child had went to France or something to do cooking school not as a teenager. She wasn't in her 20s, you know. And I think that that's so cool. And I think about that all the time because I'm like, it's never too late to do anything in your life. Never too late to do anything. You want to get in shape at 50? Go start getting in shape at 50. You don't have to be 20 years old, you know? And someone had left me a comment recently on like, if I was still in my 20s, I would have done this or still wear this eyeshadow. And I was like, no, like you could still do that. You know, you don't have to be a certain age to do anything. You want to go skydiving at 60? Go skydiving at 60. Like, do you whenever you want. Don't let the number of your life dictate anything you do, ever. That's how I plan on living anyway. Not that I'm living like a life of like crazy moments or anything like that, but I don't let society or any outside influence dictate anything that I do in my life anymore. And because I grew up doing that, and I, you know, at the time you don't know anything as a naive idiot teenager. You don't know anything. And you know, now I don't want to say I have regrets or anything like that, but it is what it is. I would have made different decisions if I was thinking for myself a lot more and not based on society or outside influences. Lost my brush. Anyway, while I look for my brush, I'm going to swatch this eyeshadow for you because it's amazing. Look at it. It's so beautiful. There were two of these. One was called Crystal Rose, and I have the other one put away in that little drawer there, but I love this one so much. It goes on so pretty, very shiny, very just, so pretty. Where's my brush? Is this it? Was I using this brush? No. Let me find it. Hold on. Whatever. We're using the dirty brush. Another person that I really admire is Betsy Johnson. I love Betsy Johnson so much, not just because her purses and clothing is so cute, but the way that she lives her life no matter what. She is dressing super outrageously colorful. She's got the crazy hair. She's really youthful. She does what she wants. She has this really youthful brand that's just bursting with life. I love her so much. And another person I look up to a lot is Gala Darling. If you guys don't know who she is, she's kind of like in the self-improvement type of space of the world. She's very ostentatious in the way that she dresses, her personality. She's amazing. If you are into that kind of thing, I'll link it. I'll link her website down below, her Instagram, all that kind of stuff. She does a lot of really great self-improvement things, but on a different kind of level. Like, she's not talking to you gentle and soothingly. She's like in your face, like making changes, and she's great. I can't use even the right words to describe her. She's the bomb. I love her. I'll link her down below. But she is probably in her late 30s, and she is living her life like Betsy Johnson. Really bright colors, bright hair, bright makeup. She's not afraid to do anything at any age in her life. She doesn't even like seem like she's aging. Like, she's just a goddess, and I adore her so much. But there's women like that I'm like, they do whatever they want at any age in their life. Why am I letting anybody in, not only society, but people I just know in life, dictate anything that I do? I want to do whatever I want at any time, at any point, and just do it. But yeah, that's that. So let me put on some mascara, and this ramble. Where's my mascara? Hold on. All right, let's do some mascara. Okay, people, thank you for listening to me. I was talking to myself out loud in the car on the way home from work today, and these were the things I was saying to myself. I talk out loud to myself all the time in the car, all the time. And I was telling myself a lot of these things, like, how do I feel at 35? And I was like, I feel exactly the way I'm supposed to, like me, and not the way society is telling me to feel, not the way anyone in my life is telling me to feel. And it's nice to ask for advice and hear advice and people offer you advice, but still filter it through yourself and make decisions for your life based on what you truly want, not what anybody else thinks you should be doing. You know, people want what's best for you, and they think they know what's best for you, and that's great, but you still got to make the decision based on what you think is best for you, what you want to do. What are you truly feeling inside? Do you really want to buy a house right now? Not really. I want to pay off my car payment. I want to save some money. I'm not interested in struggling financially, and that's just a big ticket item that I'm not interested in having right now. It would be nice, but I know it's just not in the cards at this moment. And that's fine. I'm not even mad at it. I want to pay off my car payment first, and maybe then look at a house. We'll see. But I'm doing that on my own timetable. And when you're in a relationship, you have to consider the other person as well. Because yes, I'm on my own timetable, but it doesn't mean that we have to live two completely separate lives because, you know, I'm over here and he's over here and we're both on our own timelines, you know. You do have to kind of, some things gotta be a little parallel, you know, but some things also don't. So it's in the conversation, buying a house and stuff, but it's not in the calendar. Maybe even next year, maybe the year after. But anyway, do I need to fix that eyebrow? I do. Let me fix that eyebrow. This is me at 35. Is my life on track? Yes, for me. And I feel 35. I look 35. I'm doing what I want to at 35. And it's the same to me as doing what I want with green eyes. This is what I do with brown hair. This is my life with thin eyebrows. You know, it's just a descriptive thing about me. It doesn't define me whatsoever. I won't let anybody tell me anything about my age and where I should be, and, you know, it's just a descriptive thing about me. And that is it. Thank you so much if you made it this far, listening to me ramble on and on about society and my age. And let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. As always, I love reading your comments. Let me know how you feel in your life right now. Are you on track? Do you have a timeline of what you want to do? Do you feel like you're... Because now that I say that, like, if I asked anybody where they thought they should be at a certain age, I don't think anybody's going to say, yes, I'm exactly what I wanted to be doing at this age. Because it's just... It's in our heads, just as humans, to feel like we need to meet certain milestones at certain ages. And it's not true, people. It's not true. We're all on our own timelines. We all got our own milestones that we want to meet or not meet. And that's the way it is. Let me know how you're feeling. Thank you for watching this video. And I'll see you later in another one. A much calmer video. Bye-bye.